I am so thrilled to be talking with two of the people that help me help patients chew and smile with confidence in our dental office. This is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things we do at Pennington and Ewing Dental Associates to decrease patient confusion, to have conversations about cost with care, to manage expectations so we can help them live their chewing and smiling dreams. I want my two friends and teammates to introduce themselves. Kate, you can go first. Just share with our audience what you do in your daily dental life to help patient and team's dreams come true.
Sure. My name is Kate. I'm an office manager at Paul's office. I help patients understand the treatment and help them with different financial options and different phases of treatment.
Awesome. And you often offer as a go-between, because I want to ask you just, let's say someone's watching this who's never worked at a front desk before. Do people ask you clinical questions as an office manager?
They do.
So you need to be that liaison between the front desk team and the clinical team, because patients will ask anyone anything at any time in the office. Well, thanks, Kate, for sharing. And our next teammate, you could share with me what you do at our offices and who you are.
Hi, my name is Erin. I am a treatment coordinator, patient care liaison here at Pennington Dental Associates. I review patients' treatment with them, answer any questions they may have regarding whether it's clinical or financial, come up with a comprehensive treatment plan and financial plan for that individual patient, and get their appointment scheduled, make all the post-op calls and make sure that they're doing well after their procedures, and help them every step of the way through.
Awesome, Aaron. One of the things I always talk about, there's always friendly friction between people who work at the front desk and then people who work in the operatory. And by friendly friction, I think the people in each place think the other person's job is so much easier. If I could just sit up at the front desk all day and relax and drink coffee, it would be so easy. And then you might think, oh, if I'm back there in the operatory for 2 hours with just one patient, that would be easy. And I got news for everyone. Neither person's job is easy. But one of the things that you do a lot of, Aaron, you answer the phone in addition to doing this, right? And
Yes.
can you control how many phone calls come in?
No, I cannot.
You just got to be ready for phone call action for what they say. So if you are watching, listening, if you're a dentist, a front desk team member, an assistant or hygienist, I believe you must have a tremendous amount of empathy for people who answer the phone, because unlike the assistants, Aaron and Kate, who have their nice schedule laid out, and when an emergency comes in, what do? They freak out. You guys have no idea what's happening when you come in on the phone. And that's something that, Kate, have you found that to be a challenge as a front desk, both supervisor and sometimes you get called off the bench to work yourself, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Definitely challenging.
And so the first thing I kind of want to ask you guys is, what is one of your favorite parts about being a front desk team member, an office manager, a patient care coordinator? Kate, what's one of your favorite parts?
My favorite part would be reviewing the treatment with the patients and actually help them along the way with it, and to see from the beginning till the end when some of those cases are completed, what an amazing transformation in their lives by the services that we provided them with.
That's awesome. They're scared many times of the cost, the time, the experience. You walk them through it. Since you are such a close friend of mine, Kate, and you've signed many of these HIPAA release forms and HIPAA release forms, you have a little bit of a secret weapon when you talk to people about implant dentistry. Share with my audience what that secret weapon is.
I sure do. I have 11 implants in my mouth myself. So I can definitely relate to the patients and walk them through the process because I've been through it
Yeah.
many times.
So it doesn't mean anyone has to go get an implant they don't need, but that's very cool. It really, I think, just decreases their anxiety. And when they see how nice a smile you've had, one of the benefits of working with us for a decade is you've gotten to see many of the specialists in our office. Is that correct, Kate?
I believe I've seen them all.
Yeah. So you can say the person doing your care, I'm going to do. Now, Aaron, what's one of your favorite parts about being a front desk team member working at the office?
Really enjoy working with the patients. It's nice to, when you have a patient that comes in for the first time and they're going to be having extensive dental treatment, and they come in and they have a lot of anxiety, they have a lot of questions, and to be able to be that person that talks them through it and explains everything and makes them more comfortable and understanding of what they're going to be having done to them. I really enjoy getting to know the patients and
Yeah.
having those relationships.
Yeah, building, I always say our dental life is about ROI, and many people think that's return on investment, but I describe it as relationships, opportunities, and the impact we get to have on others. I think, what's really cool about working in a dental office is that you get to help people with their confidence and how they feel about themselves and their chewing ability, which is super important for nutrition. So that's enough rainbows and unicorns, Kate and Aaron. Now I would like to ask you, I don't know if you can think of anything, right? I know it's going to be tough, but what is one thing, maybe, Kate, that's sometimes frustrating about working as a dental front desk team member? It could be with somebody dealing with insurance. It could be with patient expectations. What's some frustrations or a frustration you deal with in your daily dental life?
I would say dealing with patients that don't really understand how dental insurance works. Someone who thinks that their dental insurance should cover all of their treatment because they
Yeah.
have coverage, and not really understanding the difference between medical insurance and dental insurance and how it works.
Yeah, and it's a really it's a key point. It's understandable when you don't do what we do every day that patients might perceive it that way, but it's frustrating because when people come in with mismanaged expectations and say, I can't believe the cost is going to be this, it just creates confusion, creates conflict, it creates challenges that we have to overcome. Aaron, how about you? What's the frustration that you deal with?
I think that for me, a lot of times, I don't feel that patients really understand the importance of their dental care. I feel like you go to your medical doctors and they set a precedent as to what you need to do to take care of your health. They don't mention as much about how much your oral health really affects your physical health. And so it's sometimes frustrating when you're trying to get patients to understand that we're not just trying to sell them something. We're trying to do what is in the best interest of their health and make sure that their mouth is healthy. So not only can they chew and smile with confidence, but they're also in a healthy place for themselves and for their families.
Yeah, I love you sharing, love that you've shared that. And we, create scripts and word systems and reminders, because I always say, if it doesn't help, it doesn't matter, but then be proud to share and sell that help. And what can be frustrating is, patients do not value what we do for them, but what we do for them impacts everything else they do. And then what I do, and when people, this presentation is confusion is the killer of case acceptance, I just tell a story. So I will say, Mark, one of our patients, was just like you. Mark didn't go to the dentist for 30 years. And Kate knows Mark well now. And his wife said, if he hadn't met me, she doesn't think he'd be alive now, because he met me in 2005 and he needed all of his teeth removed because they were ready to retire. He took care of his medical health. He went on blood pressure medication. And those are really the things that remind us of why we do what we do. But it's very easy to cry inside, right? Inside of the dental office. So we create systems to increase success, decrease stress, and most of all, reduce crying inside. One of the things I'd like to ask you guys about is some of these systems. So tell me about the morning huddle. I'll even start with you, Aaron. What does the morning huddle help the team do? We get the front desk team together, the clinical team together, the dentist are putting things on there. Where does that provide value for your life in getting through the day as a front desk team member, Aaron?
I think it really starts the day off right. Everybody's on the same page. We go through the schedule patient by patient to make sure that everybody knows what's going on with each patient. We review any new patients, what their expectations are for the visit, any issues or concerns that they're having. We go through to make sure that all of the systems that we have in place, as far as testing that we need to have for our CBCTs and our STATMs, all that is getting taken care of. Making sure all our team is taken care of. And then we review our goals to make sure that we are hitting the goals that we strive to hit for our office.
I like that. I like that a lot. Kate, you are in charge of making the morning huddle list. Maybe you could add, when you get a call from Dr. Jeff, my brother, who's an amazing, dentist, co-owner with me, someone who runs the office. I don't know, does anything new ever go on the huddle unexpectedly from the morning, Kate, or everything just goes exactly as planned from the day before?
Every single day. There's something added to the huddle. And it could be, a team member that called out that everyone needs to be aware that now we need to shift gears, to, an emergency patient that called this morning or spoke with the doctor last night that needs to be added in. So there's changes to the huddle every morning, before we print it.
And I want to tell a fun story here. And I hope you come down and experience this one time. Aaron, in Philly. So I am a huge fan of the Steven Star restaurants, Elvez, Buddakan, Park. I've gone to them for years. I promote them. I go with my family. And sometimes I will walk into Elvez and there will be like a 2-hour wait, as Kate will know. And I will be kind. I'll say, oh, my number is 267, whatever. And then in under 60 seconds, they say, oh, we have a table for you, right? And I actually thought, guys, for years, they just knew me as the person who came in with my daughters. They thought they knew me from Dental Nachos. I go, amazing. These people just remember me. This is really what I thought. But then I thought to myself, they change people all the time at their front desk, right? So when I went to Buddakan, one of the best restaurants on earth, on a Sunday night, I was saying to the server, you know, I just love this place. I bring my children. You guys always hit a home run. He goes, you know, you're noted as a VIP in the system. And this is like 7 years later. So they note me as a VIP, which doesn't mean they don't treat the other guests well. They just say, this guy, Paul, is a VIP. Tell me, Kate, a little bit about why we note patients as VIPs. What does that mean to us? What kind of awareness does our team have for the VIPs?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So we have some patients who we consider VIPs, obviously family members to the practice, to the doctors, to the team, and also patients that have been coming to us for a very long time. Those are the patients that when you see their name on the schedule, it brings a smile to your face. You're
Yeah.
like, I can't wait to see that patient. And I think over the years, we just built really good relationships with them. So usually those are very easygoing patients that we know for a long time. And you're kind of excited to see them.
Yeah. And there are also many times patients who share a lot about our office the way I do. I share about Elvez and Buddakan, and it's not driven by patient referrals for more money. It's driven by this. We just want to make sure this person's experience goes exceptionally well. Aaron, you're still newish to our office. Is this a system that you had in a previous office because you worked for a while? Do you think it's a good one? And you can share with me authentically. What do you think of our VIP system?
No, I love the VIP system. I may not have been here very long, but I have my own VIPs already at this point.
Yeah.
That I've established some nice relationships with. I really like it. You know, we have a lot of patients. Some people give us great reviews. Again, some people have a great experience and refer other people here. And then we have the patients who, again, they came in, they were super anxious. We worked really hard with them to get them in a good place, and they are now a VIP. You know, every time they come in, they used to come in and they were anxious, and now they're coming in with big smiles because they're just as excited to see us as we are to see them. So I think it's a great system. I love it, addressing patients by name and establishing those relationships.
I love that you said that we're just excited to see them as they are us, because yesterday, you know, I can proudly share, you know, I'm out of my hand splint. I've told everyone my story about how I fractured my finger on an escalator. And what's the person who took my updated x-rays, my bite wing of my hand every time, she said, you know, I remember your story and now I'm careful on escalators. And I said, great, right? I'm glad I helped her. You know, and she remembered me, I remembered her. And I just think in a world where there's a lot of misconnections, you know, it's just so great when you have this friendly face that you see, the people that you know, and they become like your dental family. So I think that's great. Now I want to go through just some systems, because one of the points of this lecture, this learning, is to really get people to move forward, to Sell is Human by Daniel Pink, move forward. And nobody does anything unless they pay for the treatment, right? So we can do a great job explaining why an implant overdenture will help them chew at their granddaughter's recital. We can do a great job explaining why hard hats for their teeth, thanks to Dr. Todd Fleischman, or cell phone cases for your phone, like my brother says, are great. But unless they pay for it, do we agree, Kate? Nothing good happens, right?
Correct.
Right. We do donated dental care, and we have a few cases, and I love those cases. But the only way we get to stay in business, keep our office business and help people, is if patients pay for the care that will benefit for them. One of the things I say is don't say need, will benefit you. Don't say you need scaling and root planing. You'll benefit from cleaning underneath the gum line. But it's not easy. And what do you think, you know, and I'm not putting you guys on the spot, and there's no wrong answer. You know, Kate and both of you have our treatment plans, right? I'll share that we have our treatment plans. We have our yellow forms that are attached to our treatment plans, but you know that you're going to walk in, Aaron or Kate, and say, Millie, your care is $5,500. what are some of the emotional reactions you get from patients? Aaron, I'll talk to you. What are some of the emotional reactions you get when it comes to talking about cost?
Sometimes patients are expecting of the cost, and there are times when there are patients that don't understand how exactly inflation has affected everything in the world, and prices are a little higher than they expected, and they may be taken aback. But I think that once we explain the benefits of the treatment, it really changes their minds. You know, we're always very open about if you can have a second opinion if you like, but I do find that a lot of patients end up coming back to the office because they're looking for a specific type of care.
I like that a lot. And Kate, you have the caring challenge of telling people, sharing with people many times that their care is going to be over $40,000. What kind of emotional reactions do you get from them at times?
So interestingly enough, some patients are totally prepared of the cost and they say, this is how much I thought it was going to be. And then there are other patients that, are totally surprised, overwhelmed by the cost. I think it also when, after the doctor reviews the treatment with the patient, sometimes they have different emotions. Maybe
Yeah.
before they're going to be able to keep all of their teeth, and now we're giving them options for removal. So it varies based on the patient, but I've gotten both. Someone
And
who's
also, one of the
bored.
things I'll share with this audience, and I try to share with you guys, don't expect people to be happy to pay for stuff they don't want, right? If you were walking in talking about their all-inclusive vacation or a trip to Paris, all of us would say, oh, yay, how can I figure out how to do that 12,000? But if I got a text right now that something in my life that I needed broke, could be my company website. And when Amanda says to me, hey, we have to do something for the website, I'm open to any cost. If Amanda says it's $1,500, I say, okay. If it's $15,000, I would be emotionally worked up about it because I didn't expect to do it. So one thing I share with front desk team members, dentists, and assistants is just stop expecting, and hygienists, people to want to buy what we're selling them. They don't want it. You don't want it either, but they need it to chew and smile with confidence. So I think a lot of times if your energy is just like, I totally get that. If someone told me I had to spend $10,000 today, I would be worked up about it too. But let's figure out a plan together. And then in this world, Kate and Aaron, so much technology, apps inside of the apps. Okay, you go to one doctor's appointment, you got to fill out 17 portals. I don't know why I go to them, but we just use this thing from the beginning of time called paper. So we share with them, and this is just in one of our fundamental systems, the work that they need done, and then what is this and what does this do for you? How does our yellow financial agreement help you lay this out for patients, Aaron, so you can explain it with clarity?
So the financial form shows the patient what the total cost of our treatment is, also shows the patient any insurance benefits or payments that we're going to be receiving, and then what their out-of-pocket costs will be. It also reviews different payment options for the patient, whether they would like to pay in full, whether they would like to have a payment plan, as we do offer a payment plan in office for patients that is interest-free. So that just reviews the cost for them. We review it, they sign off on it, and we take their payments, set up the payment plan, and then we're good to go for their treatment.
And it just lays it out with clarity. And so, Kate, if we have this patient, Paul Goodman, most special boy in the world, according to his grandmother, he has $4,600 worth of dental care to do, $4,600 reviewed by the dentist. Just walk me through a little bit how you explain that to them. I know that you bring in, Aaron and Kate, you bring in a copy for you and a copy for the patient, so you can look at it together. You review the list, or you tell me, Kate, what do you use the Dentrix for?
We use the Dentrix and guide them through each process. So each line item, we review exactly what that treatment is. We also review the time in between each visit. So after someone has the implant placed, there might be
Yeah, so this one, I'll interject, Kate, has the CBCT, the implant guide, implant placement, second stage, and restoration. So you use this as a little bit of a blueprint, right, for the time and the general cost. And then when does the yellow form come into play for you?
So after patients have no questions regarding the actual list of treatment, we move forward to the yellow form. And some patients, because they're anxious, when we're reviewing the list of items that they need, they say, what about my insurance? So I
Yes.
always say to them,
So I want to share this. So Aaron, I know me, I'm a whole thing, right? But one of the things I do like is to give you confidence in words, right? So this is not a test, this is sharing. And it doesn't mean my system was perfect, but it's just a framework. Kate, if they say, what about my insurance? How do you respond?
I respond, it's a great question. I will review all of your benefits on our yellow sheet.
Yeah.
So I continue reviewing the treatment plan, and then we move over to the yellow sheet that has the total investment, the total fee. Then we have the estimated insurance, and I always tell the patients, we are going to do the best job possible in maximizing your insurance benefits.
Yeah.
We'll do all the paperwork for you. We'll do all the submission for you. This is our best guess. It
Right.
could be more or it could be less. And then we review with them.
And in this case, this is $4,600. Tell me about how would you tell this patient, which is me, what they could save by paying in full?
So one option, Paul, for you to pay for this treatment, if you would like to save some money, which is 5%, you can pay in full at the beginning of the treatment, and the insurance benefit will be reimbursed directly to you. And then I usually stop and pause.
Yeah. And pause is important because if they pay by check or debit card or cash, I would save $230. And I actually will share, we're weird. Dentist weird, front desk team, assistants weird, hygienist weird, and this and that. We try to guess what the patient wants to do. How often do people say, that sounds good, Kate, I'd like to save?
Many times. So that saves me time because I
Right.
have to go to step 2. So that's why that pause just gives them, and some patients say, that's fine, I'll pay in full.
Because there's people who love a deal, and maybe you're one, Aaron, and maybe Kate, you're not, and maybe I am, but it wouldn't matter what you're purchasing, from a membership to a gym, to a furnace, to a vacation. If someone says, you know what, if you pay here and you save $230, you can save, I want that one, right? But then Kate, some people say, or maybe Aaron, you can go next. If I said, hey, as much as I'd like to save $230, I just cannot pay $4,370 at once. Do you have any other options for me? What would you say, Aaron?
I would let them know that we do have other options for them, that we do offer a payment plan here in the office that is interest-free. Their total balance would be split into 3 equal payments. The first payment would be due at the start of their treatment. The second payment, whatever card they put it on that day, it would come out automatically the first of the next month. And then the final payment would be the month after that. So we do offer interest-free payment plans for patients in our office.
Awesome. And one of the things we share, and we do all the things to keep their credit card information right. Please look into all these systems, both HIPAA compliance and PCI compliance. So great job there. Before we go on to the next thing, but I like to test new ideas, right? And Kate, sometimes I ask about a new idea, and do you say, cool, let's test it, or I don't think this is going to work? What's your main way?
99% of the time, I don't think this is going to work.
Right. And we'll get to my favorite one in a minute. But lately, because both of you don't have easy jobs, right? You ask people for money. So the assistants don't ask people for money. They have to get people to open. That's the whole thing too, right? So they're saying open like an alligator to a 62-year-old person at 10:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. You guys don't have that pain. But you have the pain of constantly needing to ask people about money. And it's not an easy job. And be proud of yourself for what you do, because it's not actually often a fun job, right? But we decided we were going to test giving patients the options to save by not using a credit card. The office that you're sitting in right now, Aaron, has been there since I think like the 1940s, okay? 1940s. And up until 6-ish months ago, we never thought of offering people the option to save by not using a credit card. So I'll just share this. Because this was happening to me in my personal life, paying for my daughter's camp, going to places. They're saying, oh, Paul, do you want to use cash, check, or debit card to not pay a fee? Or would you like to use your credit card, but it's going to be $103 instead of $100? So I said, imagine we test this with our patients, okay? Because the credit card processing fees, Kate, you see them, they're fairly large for an office. Would you agree?
Yes.
And who really wins from the credit card processing fees? The credit card companies. And they have billions. And I don't want to share how much money we make, Aaron, but let me just share this. It's not billions, okay? Not billions. The office here is not billions. And would you guys both agree it's hard to figure out ways to be more profitable as a dental practice?
Absolutely.
Yeah. for sure.
So I said, we're going to test this out. We're going to ask the patients. And I got some feedback from my team. Kate, what'd you think the patients, how did you think they were going to be? What'd you project?
I projected the patients will hate it. They're going to leave the practice. They
Yeah.
will not pay their bill.
You also start to throw in what you do. I never have a debit card, right? I literally talked to my own wife. This is a true story, guys, from 25 minutes ago. There's a place in Philly that makes a food truck, and it's a $20 meal, and he makes it every day from scratch. It's one meal. And I wanted to buy it for my wife and Amanda. And we were just visiting a place. And I go, oh, I think it's cash only. And I said to my wife, Mary, do you have cash? And for the 99th out of 100th time, she said no, she did not have cash. So I had to go to TD Bank. So I actually don't care that much about you too, okay? But you were saying, I don't have a debit card. So you were pretty negative. Aaron, I don't know if I asked you what, and you can be authentic. How did you think it was going to work out? Could be different than Kate, the same as Kate. What'd you think?
I was on the same page as Kate.
Okay.
I thought that we were going to get a lot of pushback from patients, and nobody really likes change.
So-
It wasn't we didn't go as bad as we expected it to. So
Right. So I call it PON, projective negativity. And Kate's one of my favorite people, so I can say whatever. So I say, Kate, you don't like change, right, Kate? Are you also thrilled with the way things are going now? No. You just don't want to take the chance it could be worse, right?
Correct.
And this is a disease that dental offices have. It's not like they love everything that's happening. They just are, and people have this too. So we tested it, okay? Remember, us weird, patient normal. Us weird, patient normal. Patients are being asked this everywhere they go. And also, one of my systems, and Kate knows I live for this, I do not ask anyone to do something I wouldn't do myself, ever. I don't. I'd be willing to find a debit card or just pay the 3%. I just want to let you know, guys, I don't know if this is wild too. I do both in my life. Sometimes I'm at a place, it's $200. I got to pay 3%. I just give them my credit card. Other times I find a check. So we did this, and how has the blowback been from the patients, Kate? Did anyone say they hated us recently?
They did not.
Aaron, how has it been worked out for you with the patients?
it's worked out really well, actually. We do occasionally have a patient who's not thrilled about it, but we do offer the option for patients to send us a check if they like, since this is something that is a little bit newer to the office. And some people are like, no problem, I'll send you a check. And then you have a lot of people who just really don't care. They're like, it's fine, here's my card.
Yeah. So remember, this is a good moment to remember, test, not guess. Don't think what's in other people's heads, and just walk something back. And I'll tell you guys a funny story. I'll keep you guys for about 8 more minutes. But back in the day, my dad and his partner paid for scrubs for the team. This is pre-Kate even. And they would give really nice scrub allowances to the team. And the team was a good team, but they would just go buy their own styles, and they would buy Christmas scrubs and Halloween scrubs. But, from a branding perspective, sometimes they're wearing Halloween scrubs in February. And I was like, let's just try to look like a team, right? Like, let's just try it, right? Like, what's the worst gonna happen? So I met with my team, and I said, hey guys, and I'm technically an owner now. I said, on Mondays, we're all gonna wear the same color scrubs on Mondays. And I'm gonna let you guys pick the color. But I would just love for you to get together, use the scrub allowance that's been provided for you here, and pick the same color scrubs on Monday. Aaron, guess how that went over?
Probably not very well.
Not well at all. Okay, not well at all. Someone said, you're not letting me wear my scrubs again. No one said that, okay? But I stood in and I said, let's test this for 90 days. And if after 90 days you don't like it, come back and tell me you don't like it. And surprisingly, not one person came back and told me that, Kate. And you know what they said? I kind of like it because I don't have to worry about which scrubs I have to pick out on Mondays. So please learn from that. And your team's awesome. And the dentist can be great, but you may not be the best people to make decisions for your own life. Is that an accurate statement there, Kate?
For sure.
So, and I'll talk about Carol Kivler, who's one of our consultants. People don't argue with their own decisions. So what you do with asking people about the credit card processing thing is a brilliant system for the patient cannot argue with their own decision. You are saying, if you have a $1,000 plan and don't want to pay $30, we're happy to walk down that road. And if it's just easiest to use your credit card, that's cool too.
Yeah.
And when you ask people to do things that are reasonable, most of them respond in a reasonable way. So I want to wrap up in about 5 or 10 minutes. There's a couple other forms. One is one of my favorites. So Erin, how many years have you worked in dentistry?
15.
15. So when you came here and you're getting trained, and I can take it, and someone said, hey, Erin, when a patient calls with an emergency and you're not allowed to schedule them, how did you take that? What did you think of that system? You're disallowed from putting an emergency patient.
I mean, it's not my office, it's not my license. So, you know, I'm gonna do what you want me to do. If you want to take a look at the schedule and let me know where
Have you ever seen that before in your other offices? Were you ever forbidden from scheduling, or were you allowed to put people in?
Yes, there's another office that I worked for that I wasn't able to do that.
Oh, I want to know who they are. We applaud them. So Kate,
Yeah.
you train a lot of people, and have you found people be like, oh, that's kind of weird, right? I used to be allowed to put people in. But Kate, why do we use this orange form? So if someone calls up Erin right now after lunch and says, the filling that I did, it fell out. But your filling fell out, right? And it hurts me. What do you do when they say, I need to get in and see the doctor? How do you handle that with the orange form? Walk the audience through that.
I let them know that I would love to help them to make an appointment to see the doctor, and I get some information from them. I get obviously their name, their date of birth, make sure I'm speaking to the right person, and I take a look in the computer, see when the last time they were here, when that filling was done, ask them if they're having any discomfort, what their discomfort level is. Go through questions as far as if they're having thermal sensitivity or pressure sensitivity, document all that information for the doctor. Then I let them know that I'm going to speak to the doctor and we're going to take a look at the schedule and see when we can get them in as soon as possible to take care of the issue that they're having. We then go through the schedule with the doctor and take a look and see what's going on, and we get them in for the appointment within the next few days.
And the reason we do this, and Kate knows, and everyone listening is going to laugh when they hear this, there are VIP patients, and then there are patients that you just might not have the mental space for that day, and that's totally cool because you're a person too. And I've seen patients where I've said, hey, I need you to test out your denture for like a week, and then they call back the front desk and they do this weird thing and they lie right to your face, Kate. Dr. Paul said I have to get in right away if there's a sore spot, and they might not even be lying. They might not even have heard me. So I need to get together with you and look at it and be like, not today for this patient. Please tell them to test out chewing and get back to us in 48 hours. And Kate, this is one of our core systems. And I say this but how does this help with our flow? How does it help with our systems? How does it help with our sanity, the orange sheet?
Oh, sure. I think the first thing is we have different doctors work in the practice. So even though you might inserted the denture, but today we have another doctor and you might not be back in the office for a few days. So we review it with the doctors and the doctor check who was the last provider that saw that patient. It helps with our workflow because we get to decide which schedule they're going to go to, what day we're going to see them. On the orange sheet, when the front desk team member fills out, we do ask the patients, when do they want to be seen? Are they available anytime, or can they only come in on Tuesday after 5? So that just narrows down the options that we review with the doctor. And I think it just enhances our workflow when we see those patients.
And you know what it is? One thing that I would like to provide empathy, compassion for is if you were doing a project and one of the most difficult patients stood at your desk and started asking you about their insurance, it would throw off your energy. And with dentists, it's the same thing. You know, we have a surgical prosthodontist, we have high-level restorative, and it's not always the best time to have energy thrown off by something that's not a true emergency. We've never turned down a true emergency. We strive to get people in as soon as possible, but whether you want to call it emotional vampires, energy grenades, there's certain people that when they walk into the office, the energy's thrown off, and we just need to manage it, right? And we care about those people too. And I think too often we don't realize who has control of Kate. How many times has someone broken in as a patient and put themselves in Dentrix? Was it zero? Still zero?
Still
right?
zero.
So keep control. So I want to, in our speed round going at the end here, Erin, when someone calls and asks about dental insurance, do you have a script provided by us on how to explain dental insurance like a coupon? Does that help you with what you do?
Yes, we do have a script, and it does help. It really keeps consistency across the board. So when a patient calls, if you have a husband that calls and then you have a wife that calls 2 days later, they're hearing the same thing from no matter which member of our team they speak with.
And recently, when we went out of network, we had a lot of conversations about this, and new patients ask about this all the time. So it's just great to give you guys 5 or 6 sentences so you can get back to your day. Because I mean, honestly, has your time ever been totally hijacked by a patient by asking 57 questions, Aaron, while you have other things to do?
Yes, sir.
So that's what teams do. They give each other the tools to succeed. So my last thing I want to go over, I'm going to go over many other things from our marketing to our treatment planning, and I'm so thrilled to have their time, but I know they have to get back to their real lives. But let's just end on this. And I wanted this to be like Kate and don't be like Kate. Okay. So Kate, during the pandemic, when we were losing people, your job was to do insurance billing. Yes or no?
Yes.
For 2 offices, big job. I used to come into your office. You have them on hold, right? You have them on hold while you're doing something else, trying to chase down $80. So I said, Kate, let's outsource this to a company that will help us so I can take it off your plate because we don't have the team we had. We have so many. Remember, we're taking temperature check bouncer and asking people the forms. We didn't turn down one person for the temperature once. Okay. Every time, take the temperature, fill out this thing, ask about the COVID thing. So I said, Kate, I want to pay to take frustration off your plate. And there's this company and someone I trust. And tell the audience what was your reaction to someone you trust and care about, someone who you still technically you work with, but work for, and said, hey, you don't have to spend any more money, any more time. I want to take this off your plate. Tell them how you responded.
I said, I will do it. I will continue doing it. We don't need any more help with the insurance.
We don't need help, Paul, with this insurance. Okay. But I've been down this road before with my team, especially Kate. So I said, Kate, let's test it for 90 days. And if we don't like it, we can change it. Come back to me in 90 days. Tell me what you don't like about it, and we'll work together on changing it if it's reasonable. Okay, that was close to 4 years ago. Okay, tell the audience, what do you think about outsourcing insurance billing? Something you did every day, something you look at every day. We've outsourced it to another company. They do it for us and with us. And you said, I don't want to do it, Paul. We don't need it. And I said, we're going to test it anyway. Tell everyone the results.
It was the best decision Paul ever made.
And tell why. Why was because there's an office manager laughing because they're like you. Why was it the best decision? One of the best decisions ever made with/for you.
It frees up so much time. I don't think I ever realized how much time I was spending on it. And outsourcing it, we have a team that helps us. We can reach to them at any point during the day. They follow up on the claims. They verify eligibility for every single patient. It freed up a lot of time for me to concentrate on other things.
And also, I just want to share, it's not the most fun job anyway, right? So I really appreciate you sharing this. And our bonus, I just want to share, and I want to use an evergreen term. Aaron, you talk with our patients about protection plans for care in their mouth. It's something you hadn't done before, or I hadn't done before. Just in an evergreen way, have you seen the benefit of explaining to patients how long things may last and how they can protect it, just like one of their favorite things on earth, their phone?
Oh, for sure. I think that we've had quite a few cases where patients have to come back for something, and had they not purchased that warranty, they would be paying out of pocket 100% due to frequency limitations with their insurance. So the dental protection plan, there are quite a few patients that really like it and take advantage of the fact that we offer that service.
And I mean, all of us have heard the most frustrating thing as we end, and it's never said like in a nice way. I thought this was supposed to last forever. I thought this was permanent, but their shoes aren't permanent. Their cars aren't permanent. Their hair stuff isn't permanent. And it's actually, to me, one of the biggest conflicts in a dental office is patients having totally unrealistic expectations about the things that they use. They eat 1,000 meals a year, lasting forever. So when you put that conversation up front, whether they purchase the protection plan or not, you have created a mindset in the patients that at least this isn't supposed to last forever. So I'm so thrilled you guys shared with me. People can go to PenningtonDentalCenter.com or EwingDental.com to connect with us. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing with me today.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.